So for my first video today, guys, number one in my series of 12 videos that I'm going to give you in honor of the 12 days of Christmas is my top 10 influential vinyl records. So I went back through all of my vinyl records. I love vinyl. It's a new thing. I mean, I'm so old. I remember when vinyl records were a thing long before you could get cassettes and CDs, but now they're making a comeback. Everywhere you go, every music store now has vinyl. Artists are releasing all of their albums on vinyl now, so it's a new trend. The millennials are loving it. They're grabbing that stuff up. Vinyl records are amazing because they have a richer sound. They don't have that digital effect that they get when they're put on a CD or when they're streaming. So you have a richer sound, but I absolutely love vinyl. And I wanted to go over my favorite vinyl records with you. The records that kind of influenced who I am and who I've become today. So let's start. My very first influential vinyl album is the Immaculate Collection by Madonna. So I don't know how many of you guys out there know this one. This album came out in 1990. It has all of Madonna's songs prior to that, and it has some new ones that were added on, like Justify My Love, Rescue Me, but this album, I absolutely love it. Madonna was my person. When I was growing up, my bedroom had Madonna posters everywhere. We had artwork from the movie Dick Tracy, which Madonna was in, and I was listening to this album, and I was dancing to Vogue in the summer of 1990. That's how old I am. 1990, guys. Some of you out there weren't even born. But anyways, love this album. Madonna was such an influential person in my life. She was very pro-gay, and at that time, there wasn't a lot of gay role models to look up to, and Madonna was there. She was setting the bar high, she was setting the trend, and all the gay boys loved Madonna in the summer of 1990. And we loved the Immaculate Collection. If you have not heard this album, check it out. Look for it on Spotify, look for it on iTunes, look for it on Apple Music. It's out there. You will enjoy it. Okay, number one. Number two is Tori Amos, Little Earthquakes. Now, before there was Lana Del Rey, which most of you guys know, Tori Amos was the thing. Loved her, amazing albums. Under the Pink is another one of my favorites, but this one was very influential for me. It was really, there's some great songs on here. They really take me back to kind of the struggles of, you know, life and being in high school and being a teenager. I used to listen to this album at night, put on some music. I was a big tea drinker back then because I grew up on the East Coast of Canada, so we drank a lot of tea and loved listening to this album. Tori Amos, Little Earthquakes. If you do not know this album, give it a listen. All right. Next album. This one takes me way back. We're going back to like 1994. Bjork, her album Debut. So I had a boyfriend at the time, my very first boyfriend, and he was a huge Bjork fan. I mean, he even had his hair dyed. It was long and he had it dyed black, so he kind of at one time looked like the cover of this album. He used to wear these big sweaters and that kind of stuff. So his name was Stefan, and he loved Bjork. So because of that, I got into it as well. But this is a fantastic album. It really is. It brings me back. It makes me think of high school. There was some really trend-setting music on here. The instrumentation, the types of songs that were written for this album. Bjork was a very influential artist. She wrote bedtime stories for Madonna. So yeah, so she was on par. Everybody was listening to her. If you have not heard Debut by Bjork, check out this album. All right, guys, another Madonna album. Okay, I don't even know. This is probably one of my most favorite Madonna albums. It probably is my favorite Madonna album. This one definitely brings me back. It's Erotica by Madonna. So to give you a little story behind this came out, I want to say it came out in, and let me look here, I want to say 93, but I'm sure my friend Vic is going to correct me on this. So anyways, it was either like 93 or 94, okay? I don't know. Vic, if you watch this video, put it down in the comment section, okay? Because I know that you know when this came out. But so Madonna, this was a very different album for Madonna. It was, it kind of moved away from the pop artist that she was. She had created a character, her name was Dita, and that's what she was known by at the time. This album also comes with a book called Sex, and a lot of Naomi Campbell, Vanilla Ice, several other famous people at the time, supermodels and stuff like that, were in the album or in the book with her. Madonna is naked in a lot of the photos. Of course, she was going for shock value. What she did, which she did at the time, and yeah, and this album has some great songs on it. Erotica, a remake of Fever, Bye Bye Baby, Deeper and Deeper, Bad Girl. One of my favorites on here, Words and Waiting. Those are great songs. So if you have not heard Erotica by Madonna, guys, check this one out. It was amazing. It totally brings me back to high school, and Madonna was just bringing me to a new place. She was really pushing boundaries, and I like to push boundaries. And because of this album, I am the fun gay guy that I am today. So please, guys, check it out. And when you're listening to it, think of me. All right. So now I'm out of high school. I've moved into St. John's, Newfoundland. I'm going to university. I'm very excited about it. I'm meeting some new gay people because I grew up in a very small town. I'm living with my friend Tori. We went to high school together, and we used to listen to this album all the time. We were very sentimental gays at that time, and we loved Pieces of You by Jewel. So I don't know how many of you out there know Jewel, but Jewel, oh, this is such a great album. This is her first album. Jewel, before she was famous, she's from Alaska. She lived in a van and toured around wherever she could play her songs, whether it was out on the street, if it was in subways, if it was in beat up bars, wherever she could play her music, she did. This album came out. Jewel, Pieces of You, her big one on here, Who Will Save Your Soul. Love this album. Also, guys, of note, it is actually this album's 25th anniversary. It came out 25 years ago. So, if you have not checked out this, you're gonna love this. This album is so great. Jewel, Pieces of You, guys. Check it out. Amazing album. All right, my next one. As soon as I can get it out of the package here. So guys, this album, give you a little backstory, very controversial at the time. So this artist, her name is Lauryn Hill. She was part of the Fugees, and then she was also in the movie Sister Act 2. And then, so after being with the Fugees, she decided that she'd branch out and put out her own album, and she put out the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. This is a phenomenal album. It's unfortunate it did win Grammy, the Grammy Artist of the Year award, and as some of you know, usually when an artist wins that award, it's not great for them. It's kind of a career ender, some kind of jinx on it. So yeah, she won this, and then she ended up in jail because she didn't pay her taxes. So that was kind of the end of her career right there. I mean, I know she's got some stuff out now, but this album was #1. Great songs on there. Doo-Wop, When It Hurts So Bad, Forgive Them, Father. Love this album. If you have not listened to the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, please check out this album. Phenomenal. You will not be disappointed. All right, guys. Coming up next, this is going to be the most influential album of my life so far. Still love this album. Listen to it all the time. brings me back. I'm living in St. John's now. It's 1995-ish. Of course, Vic is going to correct this again. But 1995, I'm living with 4 roommates now. We're living in the big city, and our friends are coming over all the time, and we're partying and living life. And this album comes out, and it was the album of the year because it spoke to everybody. And I am talking about Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill. So, this album deals with frustration, it deals with teenage angst, it deals with rebellion, it deals with smoking pot. So everything that was going on at that time is in this album. And I know a lot of you know of it because Ironic, Hand in My Pocket, a lot of those songs are still played on the radio today. But you had to live during this time and when this album came out and how it influenced me and all of my friends. I mean, we listened to this until we wore it out. But if you have not listened to this, and I'm not sure why you haven't, you must have grown up under a rock. But check out Jagged Little Pill, Alanis Morissette, Canadian artist, love her, amazing album. You are going to love this. Hopefully, a lot of these things are still going to speak to you nowadays because we're all going through angst and being young people and trying to figure out their way and all that kind of stuff. It spoke to me then. I'm sure it's going to speak to you now. Check out Jagged Little Pill, Alanis Morissette. All right, guys. Of course, you know I'm gay, and of course, if I was not a gay man, I probably wouldn't know about this album, but I probably would have because it is by one of the, well, I'm going to say it is the biggest girl band of all time. So you know who I'm talking about, the most famous girl band in the world. Love this album when it came out. It is the Spice Girls. Of course, who didn't love the Spice Girls? The 10-year-old girls did. Hey, I was a 10-year-old girl too at that time. I loved it. So who cares? If 10-year-old girls can like it, so can 20-year-old gay men. So loved the Spice Girls. Oh, I miss the Spice Girls. Yeah, I know they only had a couple of albums, but this is the first one. Has Wannabe, Naked, Last Time Lover, To Become One. Love this. Oh, I miss the Spice Girls. Victoria Beckham, why are you not getting back together with these girls? Anyways, guys, if you have not heard this, and I'm sure that you have, but if you have not, you want to listen to the Spice Girls, their very first album, check it out. Love it on vinyl. All right, guys. So over time, I got a little bit away from Madonna just because, you know, a lot of artists have come out. I still love her. I still really do, but you know, I listen to other artists more than I do so Madonna nowadays. But you know, in my heyday, that's all I listened to was Madonna. Nobody else existed in the world but Madonna. And then this album came out in 2006, Confessions on a Dance Floor. Ah, amazing. Madonna was back on top. This album, what I love about it the most is the songs are on a continuous loop. So they go from one song and they roll right into the other song. There's not even a break in it. So it's just a continuous kind of disco album. I love this song. Of course, one of the biggest songs on it is Hung Up, which has that little sample of Gimme, Gimme, Gimme a Man After Midnight from ABBA. So the guys, check out this album. Everything is fantastic on it. I'm gonna say it's probably the last Madonna album that I really, really loved. The rest have been okay, but this one was like, oh, Madonna, you're back. So guys, Confessions on a Dance Floor, listen to it, love it. You will not be disappointed. This is why I'm a dancing queen. Love this album. All right, guys, and number 10 on my list, last but not least, but this was such a great album. Katy Perry, Teenage Dream. I mean, this album, I want to say, had 6 number 1s off of it. She even topped or beat Michael Jackson's record from Thriller. So this album is great. I don't know what happened to her since, but I feel like sometimes when artists peak too soon and have such a great album, aka Carly Rae Jepsen, Call Me Maybe, it's like they put that out, then they've reached the top, and then it's very difficult to kind of live up to that expectation. So this album was phenomenal. Loved it. I listened to it often. This was my favorite time of Katy Perry. I loved her with the dark hair and the blue eyes. I do not like the blonde on Katy Perry. Katy Perry, if you are watching my channel, please go back to being dark-haired. Guys, this album was great. I know that there was a lot of stuff. One of the big songs on here, Firework, that spoke to a lot of people about self-esteem, body positivity, confidence. This album is great. I love it. It's close to my heart. I just wish that her newer stuff was as good as this stuff, but oh well, that's it. So guys, that's my top 10 vinyl albums that were the most influential in my life, and through these albums, they've helped me turn into the person that I am today. And I know you guys love watching my stuff. I know you guys love having fun. Christmas is my favorite time of year, and I really want to have a lot of fun videos for you guys. So this is the first one. So keep watching. Make sure that you have subscribed to my channel. If you have not, click that subscribe button. Guys, please follow me on Instagram at Sean's Magical Odyssey. I really want to get my followers up. I'm almost at 400, so if you guys can just go to Instagram, go to Sean's Magical Odyssey and follow me. Lots of fun stuff on there. Lots of stuff that you don't see on my YouTube channel because I go out and do some stuff day to day. I post stories, so you miss that kind of stuff. Also, guys, you can follow me on Twitter. I know it's not as big as, say, Instagram, but you can follow me on Twitter at Magical Sean. And guys, you can follow me, of course, on Facebook at Sean's Magical Odyssey as well. Guys, please give me a thumbs up on today's video as well, because it lets YouTube know that you're enjoying my content. And guys, leave comments in the comment section. I love to read them. I love to respond to them. Guys, let me know what your favorite albums are, or what's your most influential album or song or something that affected your life and maybe helped you become the person that you are nowadays. Music is very influential to people. It really speaks to us. I love music. I love to sing. I couldn't imagine a world without music. And yeah, that's it, guys. So I want to say thank you for watching. Stay tuned for my future upcoming videos. And guys, what do I always say at the end is stay golden. All right, guys, we'll see you next time on Sean's Magical Odyssey.